Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reed and I'm a professional photographer. In the world of photography, Leica cameras hold a special allure, a blend of history, craftsmanship and undeniable charm. But is the romance of the Leica M series worth the reality of what you give up? Today I'm sharing my journey from the Leica Q2 monochrome to the M10 monochrome and the lessons I've learned along the way. Leica offer a really nice selection of cameras. There's the SL series, the Q series, and then of course the M series, and each one of those types of cameras offer their own strengths. But for somebody like me who can only have one Leica camera, that decision can be tough. When I changed from the Leica Q2 monochrome to the M10 monochrome, a rangefinder, the reason why I did that was because I wanted that versatility to maybe try a 35mm lens sometimes, maybe a 50mm lens, especially for portraits. But really looking back at that now, I could have easily made do with using my Fuji X-H2. I've got many different focal lengths for that camera, and anytime I kind of felt the need to use a longer focal length than 28mm, I could have just used that camera. The Q2 monochrome was my do everything camera, and I think sometimes maybe that's where I fail, is that I always want one camera that does everything. The Q2 monochrome, I did urban landscapes, I did street photography, I did portraits, conceptual work. Everything I did was with the Q2 monochrome. I didn't use any other camera other than that. I'm releasing a book this month called Monochrome Portraits. Now, when I've been flicking through this book and I've been looking, and all of these photographs were taken with the Q2 monochrome, and these are stunning portraits which, you know, I absolutely love. And it kind of begs the question, why did I move to an M10 monochrome when I already had what was the perfect camera? By the way, this book is actually available for pre-order now, and over half of the print run have already been sold. I'm only doing 500 of this book, and I'm going to number and sign every one of them. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to get hold of one of these. It's got all of my favourite portraits in here, and I'm just so happy with this book. There's some lovely writing in there as well. So it's only £20. Just go to the link in the description. Now, there is something magical about shooting with an M-mount camera. I've had such an amazing time shooting with this M6 over the last few years. But in this digital era, does a digital M make any sense? Now, they do say that the Q series is a gateway drug to the M series, and I probably agree with that. So let's talk about the sacrifices that you would have to make when you switch from a Q to an M. So first thing, which may seem obvious, is you're going to lose autofocus. Look, that autofocus wasn't the best on the Q2M. It wasn't amazing, but it was autofocus. And autofocus, it has came in handy in the past. It's definitely easier to have autofocus, I find, for portraits, especially when, you know, sometimes, you know, some of these people that I take photographs of, you know, they're kind of moving in and out, and that's kind of tricky. It's a pain in the backside with a rangefinder when you're kind of having to either move in and out yourself or fiddle about, you know, with the focus. So that is one thing that you're gonna miss. One thing that I never thought about when I switched to an M-mount camera was that I was going to be losing image stabilization. So for the Q2 onwards, we've got image stabilization, and I've had that for such a long time in cameras that I've kind of forgotten what it's like not to have it. Now, if the light isn't perfect, if you're not, you know, working in bright light and all that sort of stuff so that your shutter speed can go up without compromising your ISO, then you are actually going to lose a significant bit of image quality just simply because your ISO is going to have to go up. That's without image stabilization. So that's actually a big thing. Another thing to think about if you're thinking of switching from Q to M, is lens choice. So you've already got, when you've got a Q, you've got just an amazing lens. It's sharp, it's wonderful. There's magic to that lens. I absolutely loved it. But whenever you switch to M, then to have a comparable lens to that, then you're going to have to spend a lot to get a lens as good as that. I know there's other choices out there other than the expensive Leica lenses. There's 7 Artisan, TT Artisan, there's Voigtlander. There's all sorts out there. But that lens on the Q is just incredible. To get one as sharp as that, it's going to cost you a bit of money. So what, if anything, is a benefit from using a digital M? So, I mean, yeah, look, it is nice to manually focus on a rangefinder. It is a satisfying feeling just to know that you can't blame the camera for anything. It's all you. If there's anything that's wrong, then you're to blame. Whereas whenever an image you get it right, then you know that it's you that's done it right without the camera's assistance. It is also nice to be able to look through the viewfinder and without kind of leaving the real world. You're not looking, you know, mirrorless cameras, you're looking through the viewfinder and you're seeing kind of a computer representation of what the world looks like. So that is nice. As I become accustomed with the rangefinder system, I realised that there is quite a steep learning curve, and it's taken me a while to get better with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm taking some really nice images, but it's just harder. There's just no assistance whatsoever from the camera to make things easier for you. And looking back, seeing what I've lost, I don't know if I'd have made the same decision and fell for the romance of the M system. Ultimately, whether you choose Q or M, Leica, Fuji, Sony, Nikon, whatever that is, it's whatever suits your photographic journey best. Don't forget about that book. It's open for pre-sale now, so go ahead, go to the link in the description and order your pre-order. There's not that many left. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, all of that sort of thing. I'll see you next time.